Blessing to you on this Sunday of the third week of Advent. Our reading today comes from 1 Kings, the 8th chapter. Then the king turned round and blessed all the assembly of Israel, while all the assembly of Israel stood. He said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who with his hand has fulfilled what he promised with his mouth to my father David, saying, Since the day that I brought my people Israel out of Egypt, I have not chosen a city from any of the tribes of Israel in which to build a house, that my name might be there. But I chose David to be over my people Israel. My father David had it in mind to build a house for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord said to my father David, You did well to consider building a house for my name. Nevertheless, you shall not build the house, but your son who shall be born to you shall build the house for my name. Now the Lord has upheld the promise that he made, for I have risen in the place of my father David. I sit on the throne of Israel as the Lord promised, and have built a house for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. There I have provided a place for the ark, in which the covenant of the Lord that he made with our ancestors when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. King David lived in a grand palace, while the Ark of the Covenant and the place of worship was a tent. David decided to build a grand temple for God, but God did not want to be confined to a temple. God's place was with the people, wherever they were. God told David that he would not finish building this place of worship, that it would be left to his son, Solomon, to complete. And this building would be known as Solomon's Temple. Here we see that God will not be confined, not in a building, not even in a place we call heaven. God is patient, waiting generations to work God's plan of salvation. And God comes to earth, not in a temple, but in a barn. Still today, God moves among the people. God's temple, God's church, is not the building, but the faithful people of God. Let us pray. O God, who will not be separated from your creation, be found in the temple of our hearts today. As you hang the temple tower on your tree, remember that we worship a patient, faithful, caring, and loving God who is in our midst.